If you could play any other instrument really well, what would it be?
I said cello.
Yeah.
I stick to my answer. The cello suites, they're my favorite pieces. The cello is, it sounds like the human voice.
Yeah.
So I suppose the human voice could have been another answer. But I actually love low sounds. I always have, and I don't know how I ended up with the flute. It just kind of ended up being a weird thing. But yeah, me and low sounds have always gotten along.
Yeah. Do you think you'd be able to learn it easily? Do you think it would be hard, easy?
I think I would suck for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a good while, which is kind of scary after you're proficient at one instrument and then you try to go to another one and it just sucks.
Yeah.
You just sound like a beginner again. Yeah, it would be cello though.
Which composer would be the worst to be married to?
This was a no-brainer because I just finished a couple weeks ago some talks on Claude Debussy and his love life, twisted love life about people who shot themselves, and he had, I don't know how many affairs he had. The guy had at least a dozen affairs, and it was just a total mess. He was engaged to one woman while living with another, and who wants that? It's good on a movie screen,
Yeah.
but in real life, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
So if they had restraining orders at the time, he would have restraining orders against him.
Yeah. I think so.
Has there ever been a good Debussy movie?
Ooh, not that I know of, but there are often like independent European filmmakers that make juicy flicks like that, but they're tough to get a hold of.
Yeah.
But if I find one, we can have movie night.
Okay, movie night.
Yeah.
If Mozart had been born 75 years ago, would he have still composed for orchestra, or would he have formed the Beatles instead?
Yeah, for me that was another no-brainer, and maybe a controversial one. I went with the Beatles. I said he'd be forming the Beatles, and I did that because over and over in his letters throughout his life, he said he wanted to please people. And so he wanted to do what was mainstream, what was going to get a laugh, and what was going to shock people, and what was most in touch with whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
So that's why I went. Some people say he'd be writing musicals,
Yeah.
but something more along the pop genre,
Yeah.
I think, and just being a genius at that,
Yeah.
being really good at
So you
that.
don't think he would have been limited by the instruments and by the...
No, I don't think so. I think he could transfer his genius to other mediums and other genres. And I don't think he was elitist enough at all to stick with classical music, to stick with something that was so academic. I mean, anybody who tells toilet jokes to kings, I don't think you can classify
Well, then
as elitist.
I should have asked a follow-up question. I should have said, if Paul McCartney was alive 200 years ago, would he have been composing orchestral music?
I think I'd go with yes.
Okay.
Yeah.